Too Early, Season 3, Episode 2. We are back and we have a special guest.
Period.
Yes.
We have Marty here, who is Bree's boyfriend of how many years, guys?
6.
Oh.
In October. So 5 and some change.
That's a long time. That's
a long time.
All right, Marty, introduce yourself to our listeners.
What's going on, listeners? My name is Marty Robinson, Brianna's boyfriend. Just want to thank It's Too Early podcast for having me here and talking about relationships. So, yeah.
Well, what do you do? Tell the people what you do. Plug them in.
I am a realtor licensed in DC and Maryland. Started in October, but I am good at what I do. So if you ever need a house, rent, sell, invest, I'm the man that you need to talk to.
Yes.
I know that's Marty.
So make sure y'all follow him at Marty Rob on
Where the
Instagram.
money reside.
Right. If you trying to be where the money reside, get over here. But anywho, today we are talking about meeting the family. Last episode we touched on it, like friends with benefits, they don't get to meet the family. So today we're talking, what are the requirements to meet the family? So let's start with, how many people have met your family? Or like, yes, no, we're getting into it.
Jumping right in.
Yep. Ain't no baby steps.
How many people have met my family?
Yes.
My girlfriend?
You're in the hot seat.
You about
Don't be named
3.
dropping.
3 or 4.
Alright, and what was the moment where you're like, okay, I'm ready for them to meet my family?
Are we getting serious, like honest?
Yeah, this
There's nothing but honesty. We don't do nothing but honesty.
So, I mean, it wasn't really no point where it's like, yeah, I'm ready for you to meet my folks. It's like, if you want to come over the crib, you can come over, but it's not like, I want you to meet my mom and dad, like, right now.
So it wasn't intentional.
It wasn't intentional.
So how
But
valuable is that for you? Like, you know, because it used to be like, oh, you meet my parents, like it's
We
serious, but like,
I don't think it was that valuable. I mean, I was in high school, so I'm pretty sure my peoples knew that not every relationship or not every person that they met was going to be, you know, the one. And I'm pretty sure that they already knew who the one was, because Brianna was one of the first girls that my parents had met. So if it wasn't her, then they was just like,
Yeah.
explain that for the people.
I was gonna say backstory. We actually dated for the first time in 2012. Broke up. We was both very super young, 3 years apart, and then got back together. So for real, we looking at 9 years, like knowing each other, building a relationship. I remained close with his family the entire time. So like his sister, that's my sister, regardless. You know, I was still at birthdays, special events, all that. So yeah, fast forward.
So I guess take us through like what it was like meeting his family. Like the first time you met his family.
First time. His mom is the absolute sweetest person ever. Like, anybody that meets her can attest to that. Like, she's just so genuine and so pure. So, she was easy. Now, his dad is Marines. Like, so he was a little scary, you know, very intense. Like, I'm just being honest. So, like, I remember this one time I was over there and he was like, so what do y'all want to eat today? He was like, you know what, Brianna, what you want to eat? And you know, when you go over and you're like, oh, it doesn't matter. But he was like, no, make a decision. I was like, oh, okay. But no, that's just how he is.
Yeah.
But like now, like we have a good relationship. He calls me his other daughter, you know?
yeah.
That's dope.
But no, definitely over the years, I feel like all of our relationship, like with parents and stuff, have grown. And even with him and my parents, like,
True.
yeah, I want to go back because, like, I agree. My parents have met people, but, like, because of the age. Like, when you're young, your parents not just letting you go out with people. So it's different, like, versus now. if y'all were to introduce someone to your family, it'll probably be because you're serious with them. Whereas like when you're young, it's like, I need to know who you're going out with, who you're hanging with.
Yeah. So did y'all parents talk to y'all when y'all was younger? Like, if you bring someone around here, it needs to be serious, or was it just kind of like, or like, I don't want to meet nobody until such and such?
No, I never really had that problem. Now my sister, on the other hand, definitely.
That's interesting.
Definitely did.
Right.
It's always
like that, but I mean, it is what it is.
Right? Like, why is that? That the
But
girls
then it's
are
like,
different?
like my dad, when he knew that I was dating, he needed to know who it was. So it's like, at that age, you don't know something serious. If I just want to go to the movies, I don't necessarily want you to
know though. Like, I feel like as a father and an older brother, like I'm speaking as an older brother too. Like, I would want to know.
Right, but then you said it has to be more serious. So it's like, what if you're just talking to this dude, like, you haven't even been on a date with him?
I guess, like, so is there a difference between, like, bringing somebody home and meeting the family, or just, like, the family knowing? Because I feel like if the family just knows, like, who they are, then it's not really, like, serious. It's just like, oh, okay, you're just hanging out with this person, y'all, like, friends or going out or whatever.
Well, let's clarify. What is just going, like, I don't get the difference, because for me it was, I need to meet this person, I need to see a face, and that's meeting the family.
Not necessarily.
It's different if like one parent is meeting them or something.
I feel like
the whole family.
I feel like meeting the family is like them coming over for dinner or like, you know, having a conversation, like
coming
getting to know the
Christmas,
person.
right?
Yeah, like getting to know the person versus like them just showing up to the house and being like, okay, I'm going to the movies with this person. All right, have fun. I know who.
So we're only counting special events.
Not special events, but like exclusive events. So like y'all not just, oh, we about to go on a date, he about to come pick me up and meet you real quick and then we gone. It's like, no, he's coming over, sitting down for dinner, like
a full investigation,
like questions are being asked, like all of that.
No, it is. Like, that's, parents be asking questions.
No, for real.
They be
It depends. It depends on the family and the parents.
You don't feel like, have y'all had people meet the family?
Absolutely not. But that's because like I grew up to the point where like if you're meeting my family, like it's like serious, and I have not experienced that yet. So
I mean, like I just know for my parents, like my mom is the type, she'll ask questions on questions, but my dad is very nonchalant. Like he'll just say like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" That's literally it. Like he'll let you do the talking, but like for example, like with my ex, like when he met the family, it was more so like my mom asking questions, and then when I met his family, his mom is like such a sweetheart. Like she's like those happy Monday, happy Tuesday type of thing. So she was more so like conversational rather than like
drilling you.
Yes. So that's why I said it depends on like the parents that you meet and like the family dynamic.
Yeah.
So
do you feel like, because now that I think about it, I don't feel like my dad ever like drilled you. I feel like it was more so a gradual thing. Like it was never a time where y'all sat down and he like questioned you.
I mean, yeah, well, first let me say your pops is definitely like my man's now. Honey, like, that's my guy. But when I first met him, like it was kind of it was edgy. Like it was a lot of talking on the phone, and I guess he just wanted to see where I was as like a man. And
just y'all two on the phone.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, so I mean I do respect that, and now like it definitely was gradual, as Bree said. And I, like at first I didn't think that he liked me, but I guess he saw me and he sees that I'm in it for the long run. So yeah, that's my man's now, for real.
But I feel like with any dad also, that's a thing. Like no dad is gonna just trust a man with his daughter 100% off the bat. Like it is a process. It's never, and I'm daddy's little girl, so for him it was like, all right, she getting serious with another man. It's not, you know, before that my dad is the most important guy in my life. So it's definitely one of those things where it's like over time. But now they could hang out alone, like, you know, they could sit in rooms and have conversations without me there. Like that.
So if the tables were turned, and that's this question for everybody, if the tables were turned and your family did not like your significant other, would you be able to stay?
No.
No, I couldn't stay. I don't think I could.
Family is such an important value to me. I just feel like if nobody likes you, like there's no inch.
What if it's just one person? Like, what if it's just your mom, or if it's just your dad, or just your sister? Because your relationships with those people are different.
It depends on the person and the relationship that you have with that person. Like, I know for me, if I brought somebody home and my mom didn't like him, then I probably wouldn't, like, you know, continue a relationship with him. Same thing goes with my dad and my sister. But if it was any other family member, I'm just speaking for my family personally. If it was any other family member, I could care less. I'd care less.
It depends on what's the reason.
Yeah, that's
well. Like, if you're just not liking them because, like, I don't know. I don't know.
Because my sister and her husband goes through literally the same thing.
Oh, wow.
Like, his side of the family does not like her. Like, at all. But it's really no, like, real valuable reason behind it.
Yeah.
So,
Marty, what was your experience?
Well, yeah, my mom and dad didn't really like this person too well, but I did at the time, so I really
was
did.
it like a genuine reason, or was it just like I don't like her, like it's a bad vibe?
No, I mean they met my folks, and I guess it was a bad vibe. My grandma was even there. They met them at dinner, or she met them at dinner, and yeah, even my grandma really didn't mess with her like that.
Yeah, grandma say no, it's
yeah. So once grandma said no, I was like, alright, and
that you reevaluate the situation.
definitely had to reevaluate. Yeah.
So was it immediate cut off?
Nah, it wasn't immediate. I mean, I kind of I stayed with her, but then like throughout the weeks or however long it was, I was like, yeah, I just can't do it. And I don't think that like if my family doesn't like you and you don't like my family, it's gonna be controversy. And I'm a chill dude. Like I don't have time for all
she ain't
of
like your family,
right? That's like
I'm just say, what is there not to like?
I'm just speaking in general. Like
say she had to get the booty.
Yeah. I mean, because I feel like you can't even come into a situation and be like, oh, I don't like your family. Like, no, you don't have that right.
it just makes everything uncomfortable.
Yeah, unless they give you a real reason, it's like you need to keep an open mind.
I don't like that controversy stuff. If I can't bring you around my family and we can't laugh and joke, then it's not it.
You can't have real conversations.
Yeah.
Like, nah, hi, how you doing?
And that's it. Like, no.
Child, yeah, I definitely feel like, I feel like maybe my mom would be like, oh, meet them, whatever, but you meeting the rest of my household, plus my god family, we better be pretty serious, because you gonna catch some heat regardless.
Is there a time on that, or is it more so a feeling? Like, it's like, we gotta be dating solid couple
I feel like it's both. Like, I definitely don't feel like I'm just about to meet you 1 week and then in 2 weeks we like meeting, like you to meet my friend. Like, now, because I personally take a long time to get used to people and to know people, and I feel like I want to know that person before I bring them into a situation with my family, because my family can be intense, all parts of them. So I don't know, I feel like I need to know who you are, know what you're about, know your values and everything. So we gotta spend some time together before I'm just bringing you around. But I also don't plan on dating a whole bunch of people. I feel like I'm like one and done. So this is why this is so exclusive.
I need you to open up your mind.
I don't want to have to date a whole bunch of people before I find one.
I have a question though. So how long will you guys take to like bring your dudes around your like cousins and stuff, like a family reunion?
I feel like they gonna remember. Like, well, just because, like, you would go to a family reunion. Like, we've been together with a long time. So, I feel like if I'm just bringing a guy to a family reunion, these are people that I don't see on a daily basis. So, I could care less about their opinions. I could care less if I bring 3 different people every other year when we have family reunions, because at the end of the day, you don't talk to these people on a daily basis.
So what if it's like your like close, like, because you know how like family reunions, like you may find like a long lost cousin that you never met, you know what I'm saying, but like what if it's like your close like cousins and like aunts and
you got that one close set of
like
family.
people who you hang around like during like holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving and have like big family dinners, like would you bring them around them?
I think that if you have the title of my boyfriend, like this is official, not we're just dating, then you can meet pretty much anyone, because I don't believe you should be in a relationship with someone who you don't see something long term with. So I'm not just dating to date. I'm not just calling people my boyfriend just to call them my boyfriend. So if you have that title, then you have access to meet my family.
I agree with that, but I also think that just for me personally, it wouldn't be like an intentional thing for me to say like, oh, I'm gonna introduce you to my cousin so and so, like. Because for me, like, my family dynamic is, like, really, like, off. Like, my mom's side, nobody really talks to each other because everybody has, like, issues with each other. And then if they don't talk to that person, then that person don't. It's just a whole, like, different situation. So, like, me personally, I wouldn't bring them around them because it's, like, I really don't talk to them on a daily basis either. And it's, like, no. That's just weird to me because I don't talk to them.
Right. I think I'm like complete opposite. Like, so my extended family, we're all not super close, but we all are pretty much like, my mom talks to her uncles, like her uncles and stuff like that. Like, and when we go down to North Carolina, everybody's sitting in the living room together on the, like, it's very close knit, and like we don't live so far apart. So I feel like in order to even bring somebody into that, you need to be pretty like solid. Like, we need to know, like, you know, we trying to go somewhere, because they talk and word gets around with my extended family like it don't, like, no business. So I need it to be serious, and we can't just be breaking up the next month, because then they gonna be calling me asking how is such and such, and ain't nobody got time.
But that's gonna happen regardless. Like, if there's a
breakup.
So what if you bring somebody and you really think that y'all are serious and y'all like date for like a couple years and then y'all break up? Like,
the groundless, the questions are gonna come.
But we like dated a couple years. I'm talking like if we just, you know, just was like, okay, we're serious now, I still might not bring you to the family reunion.
So what is your excuse for not bringing them? Because I would feel some type of way if you're like, oh yeah, I just don't feel like you're ready to meet my family, and we're supposed to be serious. Like, what is the reason?
I don't know.
Would you feel some type of way if I didn't want to take you to my
But
family?
y'all been together for years. This is like, go back to when y'all was only together for like a year. Would you feel some type of way
1 year?
she went? Yes.
that's a long time.
Right.
A year is a long time.
Not
I
for
don't
me.
feel any type of way, honestly.
If I was just like, yeah, I don't want you to meet my family.
And y'all only been together for a year. Family reunion,
Family
not
reunion, yeah.
immediate family, extended family.
The extended family is worse because you don't talk to them.
No, but that's opposite for me though. We do talk to ours, so it's like different for me.
I don't know.
So my follow-up questions to this. So say if you bring your significant other and meet, they already met the family. Now, what if you said, well, you met my family, but I don't feel comfortable bringing you to, like, Christmas dinners and Thanksgiving dinners and all that other stuff? Like, how, like...
I'm talking, like, not Christmas dinner, because that's just, like, my family that's here. They've already met them. If they're meeting my family, they've already met that group. But I'm talking, like, family reunion, like, great uncles, great aunts, third cousins, like, huge family reunions. Like, that's a whole different ballgame.
If you met my family, you can meet my family. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I feel like if you met the immediate family, you can meet the extended family that I'm close to as well. Like,
you can meet great Aunt Cheryl.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm close to great Aunt Cheryl, then you can meet her. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what's the difference between, like, your immediate family that you're close with and then your extended family that you're also close with.
The gossip.
I'm
That's
not
the difference.
playing.
It is though. It's like, what if I don't want? Cause I know me, like, a year is not long enough for me. Like, I still might be like, we still gotta get
A
to
lot
know each
can
other
happen
a lot
in a year,
more.
though.
A lot.
I
Like,
guess.
you might meet someone and fall head over heels and just know that they're the one.
Shoot, people get married in 6 months.
They absolutely do.
Not this person.
Just wait till something comes
I
up
just
in your
know, like,
life.
I'm gonna have to be with my person for at least like 2 years before I can be like, I'm ready for engagement. So,
But so
you know.
when are they meeting?
Right, so-
No.
It's gonna
I'm
be-
just saying, like, I just think my time periods are gonna take longer. Just like who I am, I just know it's gonna take longer.
So-
But I'm saying, when are they meeting the family? If at 1 year is not enough, 2 years you're getting engaged. So when are they meeting?
So
the
I
family?
guess so. Like, since you say that, will you at least like tell your family about him? Like, oh, I'm dating this person. Like,
Yeah, I'll tell my family for after like 5 months, 4 or 5 months. You know,
okay,
that's my household
that's
family.
reasonable.
I can live with
Yeah,
that.
4 or 5 months. I'll be like, hey.
Because if you talk to somebody for 5 months, it's,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
that's almost half a year.
exactly. So, you know, you gotta give it a little time. Because I changed my mind quick.
I'm not playing.
So have y'all had an experience where you're like, you either introduce someone to your family and you regret it, or you shared yours a little bit of how your family didn't like them, but how do they express that to you? Like, how does that work?
Well,
Do they just upright like, yeah, we don't like her?
Well, my dad is like that, and my mom she'll try to word it nicely, but I know when my mom doesn't like somebody. Like, I know when she don't care for somebody. But yeah, my dad would just tell me straight up. So would my sister.
I was about to say, what about your sister?
My sister would tell me straight up too.
So out of that group, I guess, like, who holds heavier weight where you're like, if this person don't like you,
My
you
sister,
gotta go?
definitely.
Out of your parents.
Yeah,
That's
my
dope.
sister.
So if your parents were like, yeah, we're not feeling her, but Joy was like, yeah.
Give it some time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Joy knows. Like, it's just something like. And then my parents, they're older, so they really might not understand. But if my sister don't like you, like, my sister likes almost everybody. Like, if my sister don't like you, then it's really a problem. So, yeah.
Agree.
I don't feel like, I had one person I was dating and neither one of my parents didn't like him, but it was over time. It wasn't like first time they met him, they were like, yeah, he gotta go. But it's very rare that my parents are on the same accord. So I knew that when they were on the same accord, don't get me wrong, I thought they were the worst ever. Like, you know, at that age, I was young, I was like 15, 14, 15, and I just thought, no, I love him. You know, you feel like that, and you feel like you're in these relationships when you're young that are going to be forever, and it's a joke. But looking back on it, it was the best decision that they made me make. Let's be clear, they made me make. But yeah, if my parents don't like you,
So
I
who
can't.
holds more weight, Key or your parents?
I don't know. I feel the same. Key is not a I don't like you type person. So it probably is my mom, only because my mom's very open-minded and she's vocal. Like, if Key don't like someone, she might not tell you. Like, she will be like, yeah, they're cool, like, blah, blah, blah. My dad, you just got to give him time. And then my mom will be like, yeah, this is weird, or like, something's off. I don't feel it.
I've never had an experience where I've introduced somebody that my parents didn't like. But I would say, like, as far as like who holds more weight, if that were to happen, it's between my dad and my sister. Like, my dad and my sister are two completely different people. Like, my dad is very nonchalant, so like, if he vocally tells me, he's not really vocal either. So if he vocally tells me like, yeah, nah, I don't like this dude, then it's like, that's a deal breaker. My sister, on the other hand, she's very vocal and very opinionated. Like, she's kind of like me. Like, we're also like one and the same a little bit. So yeah, she'll tell me straight up like, nah, I don't like cussing and all. Like, I don't F with da 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 da. So it's between them two.
Like I said, I've never introduced anybody, so first question is out the window. But as far as weight, honestly, my baby brother is very like vocal about that kind of stuff. Like one time, my goddaughter's dad, we were like close friends, but I brought him to the house like for the first time, and we were not dating. We've never dated. I could never do that. And my brother was like, who is that clown? I was like, dang, what is going on?
I can see that.
Yeah,
though.
he is
like,
very
that's very much his energy.
But you all know what's coming. It's just like he will come in the room and be like, so, and I'm like, okay, dang, gotta reevaluate my life. So probably him, and then of course my mom. My dad, he's not gonna like nobody, so that's just a given. Like that's just my father. It is what it is. So yeah, my future significant other is gonna have to work hard for him. But yeah, between my mom and my little brother.
So have y'all ever had a parent not like you?
No.
No.
Everybody likes me. Except for maybe your dad at the beginning, but.
No, I've never really been introduced or like met anybody else other than my ex's family.
I had a parent not like me. And I'm very like,
But what was
You
the
pretty much get along with everybody.
let me explain the situation. So my godmother was having a birthday party. It was a 90s party. And I was talking to this guy. We weren't boyfriend, girlfriend yet. But like we were cool. Like we were real close. And I invited him to the party. But after further thinking, I realized that I wasn't ready for him to meet my family. Like it was one of those situations. Like I don't know if this is really serious for real. Never mind. So I did. I said, yeah, I don't want you to come anymore. But he went and told his mom. So from
Clear
there,
how old he was.
no, like it was very like, and she was little ghetto. So it was. He had a football game that morning. And I went to that, and she was like cussing me out, like my son not good enough for you. Yeah, that's the only person whose parent didn't like me, and they don't count because we wasn't even together.
Right.
Because I'm likable.
He was probably telling her something different.
But it was also one of those situations where it was mama's boy, like. So it was no winning there anyway, and I just think that that's a situation I don't want to be in anyway.
Yeah. That's I don't Mama's boys are really just a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
It's levels to it, and
yeah, it's levels to it. Like, yeah.
so since we're talking about that, so I want to talk about once you start creating your own family, like once you get married and whatever, what is that family dynamic like? What is the power structure in the household? Because a lot of people go back and forth with like who comes first, your wife, your husband, your kids, your mom and dad. So what do y'all think, or what will your family structure look like?
Kids come first.
What's your family structure gonna look like?
Well, when I get married, I'm definitely gonna have to put my wife first. Yeah, no disrespect to mom, because moms is moms, but my wife is gonna be the person I spend the rest of my life with. I actually have to live with and raise children with, so I feel like we need to be on the same accord. And then when we have children, it gets tricky, because
That's interesting. No,
it does get tricky, but I feel like my wife's still gonna come first, honestly, and then my kids, but it's like a close second, like not too close.
I don't disagree with that, only because I feel like your marriage has to be strong in order for it to pour into your kids, and in order to have the most impactful like effect on your kids. Like if your marriage is not good, if you're not focused on your marriage and you're not focused on building that, then your kids aren't going to reap the benefits of being raised in a 2-parent household. And that's important to me because I didn't get that. So I do agree that it would be your marriage first and then your kids.
But I don't know, because your kids are your kids, like that's you, for real. So it's like, I don't know, it gets tricky with that, and I don't want to put one in front of the other, but
I see what you.
yeah,
It would never be like me or the kids.
Yeah,
Like,
as long as it's not like that, then I'm good. Like,
Yeah. And I think when people have these conversations, that's what people think. It's like you making this tier, and because the wife is at the top, it got to be like you choosing her. But it's really not like that. It's like situational stuff. Like, do I want to give attention to my wife tonight, or do I want to read the kids a book for 3 hours? Like, it's like those kind of decisions where you got to split that time. Like, I know I need to show attention to my wife or husband, and then, I put the kids to bed and come back. Like, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I definitely agree that my husband and my marriage comes before my kids, because without the marriage, my kids suffer. So,
yes.
I will definitely agree with that. My marriage will come before the kids, but I do also agree that it's situational. Like, because I know I live with my sister and her husband and their 2 kids. So, and then my nephew, he's borderline autistic. So they're still trying to like figure out like that whole dynamic. So he needs a lot more attention, like in certain situations, than they need to pay more attention to their marriage, because he's more like of the priority in certain situations, like when it comes to like learning and him going to school and like learning how to like form words and stuff like that. So I definitely agree that it's situational, and it just all depends on like how you were raised, like what you experienced as a child, what your household looked like, and then what you want your household to look like, also taking into account like your kids and like that whole dynamic. So
yeah, I definitely think that once you get married, like that becomes your family. Like you said, no disrespect to my parents or anything, but once I'm devoting my life to spend the rest of my life with somebody, it becomes us. I don't want to say us against the world, but essentially that's what it is. And we'll always love our parents and be there for them and support them, but at the end of the day, like you said, this is the person I'm living with. This is the person I'm spending most of my time with, and we're building our own.
Sleep in the bed with you every night, child. You better come before him.
But also, you shouldn't be with someone who ever makes you feel like you have to choose. Like, I feel like in our relationship, family is big to both of us. So, like, on Christmas, we making sure we hit everybody's house. On Thanksgiving, we're hitting everybody's house, because no one comes before each other. Like, no one's family is more important. Like, we're really all one big happy family. All of us can all be in one room, and everyone's gonna have the best time ever. Like, his parents, my parents, like everybody. So that's something you also have to look for when you're entering a relationship. Like, figure out what's important to you, and then let your relationship reflect that.
And I also think it's so important that your family likes your significant other that you plan to spend the rest of your life with.
It makes
Especially when you start creating a family, you have kids, you don't ever want your kids to suffer and have to choose between this grandmother and this grandmother, this grandfather and this grandfather. Like, you don't want your kids to go through that. So it's definitely important.
Well, I think that's a great note to end on. Thank you, Marty, for joining us. And bringing last words.
Right, let's say anything you want to leave the people with.
Well, thank you for having me. I definitely enjoyed this. Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Well, with that said, season 3, episode 2 is a wrap.
We out.